Hello everybody, how is it going? It is your boy Lucas here. Today we're going to be taking a look at Animals as Leaders, the Madness of Many. Now, let's get right into this album. The very first track is Rhythmic Oviya. We've heard this one before. This is one of the first singles they put out. This song is actually one of the better songs on the track, and it's super heavy actually. It's one of the more heavier tracks on the album. It has this really cool sitar riff that it starts off with, and it kind of keeps that through the entire song. It has a lot of H string riffs. It has a lot of stuff going on. It's your typical AAL song. It gets kind of heavy towards the middle. It's like I said, it's a great opening track. I really like this one a lot. The next one up is Ectogenesis. This one starts off with the funky 80s riff at the very beginning of it, and it keeps that through the song, and the whole song itself is very chill. Now I don't really like this song a lot because there's not anything in it that really sticks with me. It's not a very memorable song. Next one up is Cognitive Contourations. I think I said that right. I'm sorry. I'm kind of in a hurry today. This one has a lot of thumb slapping going on in this one. And I mean, the guitar tone on this album is very interesting because there's not a lot of low end in it. It's very genty, quote unquote. It's kind of how it sounds. But I don't know. It's one of the more gentler tones that they've had, but the album itself really isn't all that genty, if that makes any sense. Alright, now back to the track. It has a nice solo passage in the middle of it, which sounds really awesome. Now, the song really gives me a Meshuggah type of feel because the drums, it kind of has a little polyrhythms going on because the drums are playing a little bit different than what the two guitars and the bass machine are doing. So it's really, this song is it's better than Ectogenesis. It's really interesting. It has a Meshuggah feel to it, like I said. Now, the next one up, Inner Assassins. This one has a lot going on at once, and it's very interesting. It goes hard, and like I said, it's kind of like song before. It had a lot of thumb action going on in it, and then towards the end it builds up, and then it kind of ends in some guitar noodling. So it kind of builds up, and then the bottom kind of drops out when it ends with the guitar noodling. Next up is Private Visions of the World. This is a very happy sounding song. It's very different from the tracks that came before it, and it reminds me of good 80s pop, if that makes any sense. This one is actually one of the better songs on the album. From here to the end of the album, the songs kind of pick up a little bit. They get a little bit better. The guitar passage it's very lyrical. What they're playing there, I don't know if it's Toast in their hobby, but it's very lyrical going. It's very lyrical, and it's very, very easy to remember. And towards the middle of the song, it breaks down, and you have some thumbing, and you have some more quote-unquote genting, if you will. Next up is Backfeisengeich. I think I said that right. It is German for a face that needs to be punched or someone who needs to get their lights knocked out. That's basically what it's for. Starts off with some interesting thumbing action, some delay going on. It actually sounds pretty cool. To me, this is one of the more interesting songs on the album because the way it flows from section to section, it feels good. It's easy to remember. You kind of can't predict what's coming next. Transcendence. I think that's how you say it. If I messed it up, someone will correct me. This is Tosin's jazz influence for this song that comes shining through because it kind of sounds like a Kurt Wosenwinkel song. It's kind of like the way he moves from chord to chord is very jazzy. It kind of almost sounds like he's comping. This one, I don't want to say the song is boring. It's kind of one of the more interesting songs, but it just, you have to listen to it a couple times. It just feels weird at first. The Glass Bridge is the next track up. It starts off very fusion-y. You get a very fusion-y feel for the song, continuing from Transcendence from forward. The jazz influence is going on. There's a really cool solo in the middle of it, and then it moves. And then when it moves toward the end, it has this chone sounding part. I almost said Polyphia, but it's more chone, which is cool because chone is one of the more young up and coming bands in the instrumental prog metal scene. Then after that, you have Brain Dance. This track is super influenced by Javi's work because you have some, I call them nylon. I kind of dubbed this a nylon song because you have the 8-string nylon guitar going on. This song was one of the first singles that they released, and I don't think a lot of people know how to handle it. But I think this song is actually very interesting because you don't really hear a lot of nylon. You don't hear a lot of classical, a lot of nylon guitar and progressive metal all that much, so it's really cool to see it here. It's very chill and laid back, and it picks up toward the end, and it comes right back down right before the end. Now the very last song on the album is Peril Phobia, which I think I said that right. It's the fear of eternity, or if it's the fear of forever. Well, this one is another nylon string song. It kind of sounds like an interlude, like a classical song interlude, and it keeps that through the entire and into the entire way. Which, since we're at the end of the album, I really wish they would have taken Braindance and shifted it up, put it at like 4 or even 2, because but the back-to-back Nylon songs are kind of cool, but it would have been a little bit better to see a little bit diversity because they're just stacked right there toward the end. I mean, I like it to end the album. I just wish they weren't so close together. Overall, this album is very interesting to me. I still like Joy of Motion more because there isn't there isn't a song specifically on here that goes for it for me. It's not it's not really metally. I know some people don't really like the metal side of Animals as Leaders, but I do. So there wasn't a song in there that really went for it for me. I mean, the production here is actually really good considering Javi's the one who mixed it. Adam Getgood from Periphery mixed the last one, but Javi mixed it on this one, and it actually sounds super good. I didn't know he had mixing skills like that. And Javi's influence is all over this album, from the mixing to the production to the nylon string guitars, 8-string nylon guitars that are in here. So this I felt like this album was more of a balance between the two guitarists and the other one. I mean, Matt Garza's great on here. He's always great. Overall, I'm going to have to give this one a 4 out of 5. A weak 4. I really wanted to like it, but just some of those tracks in the middle are weak. Toward the beginning, they're just really weak, and they're not something that's very memorable. And sometimes AAL will do this. I mean, it is different. It is kind of different. They took some risks, which is good, but it doesn't really necessarily, I don't know, it doesn't necessarily resonate or stick with me. What did you guys think about it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you hate to love it? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this, don't forget to give me that thumbs up. Click that subscribe button. That's for me. I'm going to be out. Deuces.